Hello everyone, and welcome to today's show where I turn a video game into a D&D campaign. Today's subject is American McGee's Alice. Set after the story of the first book by Lewis Carroll, Alice returns to Wonderland to find it in disrepair. Alice and her sidekick Cheshire set off to try and fix Wonderland, and in turn, hope to fix Alice. Without further ado, let's roll the intro. Let's introduce the main character and what I think her class would be. Alice Adele, the chaotic, neutral human girl, with the personality type of being a little bit manic and a little bit wild. I would put her as an artificer, and that lets her use all sorts of wild magics and magical devices, which is perfect for the world of Wonderland. With that, we shall begin today's adventure. We begin with Alice laying in bed reliving terrible memories of her parents being killed in a house fire. In the delirium, Alice is drawn back into Wonderland by the White Rabbit. Wonderland has become a harsh land, ruled by the Red Queen whose cruelty has caused a deep and scarring problem all across Wonderland. A distorted and twisted place awaits Alice as she arrives in the mines.
Please don't dawdle, Alice. We're very late indeed.
Let your need guide the way. Suppress your instinct to lead. Pursue, Rabbit.
Rudely greeted by Rabbit and Cheshire, we are given our first quest, Pursue Rabbit. Cheshire disappears and I'm off into the mines, where I meet many depressed people, and after a bit, I get my first weapon, the four-paw blade. I can now cut my way through any problems that arise.
But not sufficient. Always collect what's useful. Reject only your ignorance, and you may survive.
Defeating my first enemy, the blood rushing from his sternum, I felt the rush and excitement for adventure. A bit of travel, and I meet up with Mayor Elder, a gnome renowned for his wisdom and sarcasm for the judgy things.
Valued by the blind. If I were clever, would I cower in this slag heap? I'm not wise, girl. I've just grown old. In the Card Guard's compound, a particularly rough diamond holds a key. Retrieve it. I will repay the favor.
We receive our second quest, retrieve the key, which may or may not unlock the doors to the Fortress of Doors, or free the gnomes, I'm not quite sure. Heading to find the key, I come across my next weapon, the throwing cards. Armed and ready, I charge headlong for the key, murdering all in my way. With key in hand and our first quest complete, I head back to Mayor Elder, who takes us to the Fortress of Doors, where we see this guy fail his acrobatics check. Avoiding an artillery strike, I am dropped off just outside the fortress doors and given the task of heading into the school. Raging, killing, and platforming my way through the fortress, I come across my first puzzle. A door puzzle. Pull the levers and the right thing happens. My first investigation check fails and I need to reset. Retrying the puzzle, I roll better and get the right lever combination, allowing me to advance. Fighting off the screaming dementors, it's where I take my first death in the campaign. Retaking that fight, success leads me to the entrance to the school. Entering the school requires a real leap of logic. Traversing the school, we pick up another weapon, the croquet mallet, able to beat, pound and club things, while also managing to fire croquet balls at the enemy. Coming across Elder Mayor in the auditorium, we are interrupted by footmen. After a short battle, we are to follow Mayor Elder throughout the school. Finally, we come across the recipe book that will allow us to make the shrinking potion. Only to fail my acrobatics and dexterity checks and dying a couple times trying to reach it.
Mushrooms, poppies, sugar and spice, all those things are very nice.
I run around the school collecting everything and brewing the concoction. With all we have set up, we are ready to drink the potion and chase after the rabbit into the pool of tears.
Welcome, Alice, to the Pool of Tears. Look, there goes Rabbit. I hope you can keep up.
Undeterred by the DM's jabs, I set off up the mountain. Where I immediately died thanks to my perception checks being out of garbage. After a few attempts, I make it up the mountain to meet up with Mock Turtle.
What's all this then? Did someone die?
Mock Turtle tells us of his troubles and where we could find Caterpillar. A new quest for us: defeat the Duchess and reclaim Mock Turtle's shell. Defeating soldier ants, fighting off man-eating mushrooms, minigun flowers, and surfing the river, I eventually make it to the Duchess's house. And from the shadows comes a strange figure, Bill McGill.
Over here.
Don't I know you?
Bill McGill at your service. Call me.
Who insists I call him Larry. He chats with us for a bit and shows us the way into the Duchess's house. Making my way to the center room, I pick up a weapon crucial for defeating the Duchess, the exploding jack-in-the-box. Upon picking up the box, the table gives way, the ground shakes and parts. From the fireplace, the Duchess emerges, brandishing her trusty pepper grinder. After trading insults with the Duchess, we begin the battle. Rolling well, I strike first, but soon she gets me with a wild chomp. Misty Step is making it very hard to pin the Duchess down. I grow smart and switch to Jack-in-the-Box and start dealing some real damage. And with the final explosion, I trigger her death throw. Holding Mock Turtle to our bargain, he agrees to take me to Caterpillar. Swimming through the dank underwater caverns, we emerge deeper into the forest and closer than before to Caterpillar. A bit more exploring, we catch up with Rabbit, who gives us a bit more direction. Following hard through the dense undergrowth, defeating all in our way with skill and vigor, we meet up with Rabbit again. Following his lead. I guess we have to go on here by ourselves? To avoid the giant soldiers, we head underground again, getting closer to Caterpillar. The flying beetles from earlier turn up the ante and set a giant marble after us. Running without looking back, I navigate all manner of treacherous terrain to enter some ice caves. Finding the ice staff, I take the path less traveled. I fail my perception check and die to a falling boulder. Now on alert, I try a more cautious approach and exit the caves to a clearing where Caterpillar is resting. I speak with Caterpillar, where he reveals how broken and fragmented Alice's mind truly is. After blowing some dank kush at us, he teleports us away. Exploring Funginous Flora, I pick up the dice weapon, which as far as I could tell summons the demon that electrocutes me. After that disaster, I head deep into the forest, only to be caught by a regiment of army ants. They throw me into a pit where their nefarious leader is waiting. The voracious centipede.
Now, find a new rival.
An enemy so massive and voracious I could only but circle strafe. I tried my best to find his weakness with ice beams and bombs exploding. Nothing worked. I fought off the facehuggers from aliens as they slowly chipped away at my health until it dawned on me. Centipede had a weak spot under his belly. With a few more hits to his weak spot, Centipede falls, sending shockwaves off and opening a path for me to grow up.
It's rude to eat and run, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
Finding myself in a completely different location, I take a look around and scope the jabberwock staff, crucial and powerful, but in pieces. Cheshire directs me to reforge the weapon. Taking one of the 3 paths open to me, I follow the road only to be met by the voice of the Oracle, who reaffirms my mission and gives me a direction to the Pale Royal's court. Getting to the outer cloister of the royal court, I notice that everything is becoming chess-themed. Dodging the invading armies, I head into the Pale Realm. Moving through the royal city, I fight, dodge, and tactically retreat my way through the streets. The only available path leads me to a lever opening doors further into the city. Assisting my newfound friend Rook, we slay our way closer to the palace, where we see the White Queen being dragged off by the opposing army. With no way to follow yet, I head into the palace. Maybe someone there would be able to give me some direction. The king sends me towards the Red Castle to save the Queen. She would be able to get us the next piece of the jabberwock staff. Escorted by the Rooks, they lead me to the portal that takes me to the Red Castle. Traversing walkways and castle walls, I find myself a passive onlooker to the White Queen's execution. Unable to do anything to save her, I want to take their throne. Defending it, however, is the Red King. A simple foe, but a tough one. A well-timed explosion ends the reign of the Red King. Setting free the pawn, we see her become the new queen. Before we can celebrate, however, Mad Hatter instant transmissions in and knocks me out. Unknown to me, I wake up in an asylum. Not quite right by any means, where all walls are floors and all floors are walls, and other children fill the halls. Madder than Alice, but unfazed by anything, my thoughts were to take leave of this area. The asylum is a maze, filled with mechanical bots intent on ruining my day and my face. Trying to escape this infernal maze, I get lost and die so many times. But the one good thing that comes from this, I get, in my opinion, the best weapon, the caltrops. A homing weapon that two-shots most enemies. With a newfound respect for the area, I go looking for an exit to this damnable maze. Rigorous searching leads me to clocks, ticking devices designed to keep me stuck in this loop forever. Destroying enough of them eventually opens a path for me to enter a new area. The asylum housing, set in deep space for some reason. More clocks are broken and enemies slain. Lighting the way to the boss's area. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Look, damn it, what's the name from the neurotics ward? Nurse's favourite lunatic.
Two large warders of the asylum, fiends by all rights, with an appetite for Alice. A healthy beatdown is required to keep them in check, and while they clone themselves all over, I just keep dealing out the damage. Taking down Tweedledee first and leaving Tweedledum to his own tricks, he proves a challenging foe, as he does not flinch. With a final toss of my caltrops, I finish him off. Hatter appears and offers me tea, and then sends me to the Shadow Realm. Waking up, I see I am further into the asylum, although much more hellish. No doubt the work of the Mad Hatter, twisting his landscape into his own personal hell. Navigating my way through, we see how the mechanical soldiers are made. Rabbits and dormice are strapped to the devices, half their bodies transmogrified and twisted into biomechanical husks. I tried to end their suffering, but I think it would have been even too dark for this game. With a few tips from Rabbit, we are sent on our way to find the Hatter, eventually come across Griffin, an ally trapped by the Hatter in a cage. A few more stalwart words from Griffin, and we are off to find the Hatter.
You enter into a circular arena with 3 towers set to the north, east, and west. A giant clock hangs from the centerpiece. Tick-tock, Alice. He is coming for you.
He tries to hit me with his cane. A few good shots drop some of my HP. In a panic, I use all the wrong weaponry in the fight. Reeling from not knowing what to do, he unleashes a bomb torrent in my direction. Eventually, I pull myself together and use my trusty weapons, the caltrops and the jackboxes. After an intense battle between Hatter and his battlebots, I take him down with a fiery detonation, saving myself from any more of his mental torment. We loot his arena to find his pocket watch. It lets us stop time for a short while. Defeating Hatter also frees Griffin, who promises himself to our services. With a new ally, we set off to kill the jabberwock. Along the way, we are met by the Oracle.
You should not waste a day. No lame excuses do you contrive, nor tolerate delay.
Turns out he is Caterpillar. Tricked and possibly bamboozled, we are told and told again to take down the jabberwock, to save ourselves from the inevitable.
Me or don't, but believe me, the jabberwock must be eliminated, now. Blow open the gates and confront the Queen.
Your room was protected and spared, while your family upstairs roasted in an inferno of incredible horror.
Our first fight with the jabberwock. He has taunted us into this. Jabberwock is so hardcore he killed his own teammate to get close to us. Griffin saves us from harmful defeat and grants us the last bit we need for the ice staff. Back in Queensland, I open up the screaming wall with the ice staff and it's into the royal maze for us. Another maze to get lost in, another army blocking the way. A natural use for the watch presents itself, a whole one gate in the game to use it on. A gate that leads me to the steam factory, which takes me back to another part of the maze bizarrely. Searching a bit further, I find a mirror that turns me invisible, allowing me to skip another whole section. I hate sewers. Like, it sucks so bad. I don't want to talk about these damn sewers. I don't like this level, I don't like this awful puzzle, I don't like the fighting, I don't like the freaky fish people, I hate not knowing where to go, hate these insta-kill fans, hate drowning, oh for Anyway, back to adventuring, through the maze, and through the internals of somewhere. I'm not actually sure where we are. I ended up ascending through what I can only imagine is a clock tower, which has put us at the entrance to the keep. We are greeted with the sight of Jabberwock and Griffin having an epic battle. We join as Jabberwock strikes down Griffin, and we are left to fight Jabberwock by our lonesome. But fear not, for we have all the tools to take him down. As I was saying, I have all the tools I need. A cheese strat and a Jabberwock staff. After many tries and many deaths, I emerge victorious, with him dying in a ball of flame. We talk to Griffin as he draws his final breath, and gives us some comforting words going forward. Finally we are set to storm the Red Queen's keep. A single path is laid before us, forward through a natural army of footmen, fire goblins, little devils, screamers, and anything else the Queen could throw at us. Entering the Queen's court, we are tasked with one final puzzle, to unlock the throne room. A single mirror mechanism revolves around the room. Unknowing what to do, I explore a bit further. 3 rooms with 3 answers. Each room has a symbol that corresponds with the portraits we saw at the beginning of the rooms. In the center of each room is a choice we need to make. With a throw of my vorpal blade, I set my choices in stone. Back and forth 2 more times. Each lock is slowly unlocked. With my final throw set, the door to the throne room is thrown open. Stopping us just before we enter, Trisha gives us some final words.
You've suffered great pain and you've caused some. You've endured deep grief and feelings of guilt, but you will be tested by a more wrenching anguish, Alice. There is worse to come. You and this Red Queen cannot both survive. You are 2 parts of the same...
But he is struck down by the Queen, tormenting and breaking Alice's heart even further.
No! No! No!
With rage and sorrow in my heart, I go to confront the Red Queen.
Who am I?
Off with her head.
Transforming and showing her real form, we see she is an eldritch horror, powerful and deadly. Lasers and fey beams strike my body, recovering when I can, and picking up the health pickups as fast as I can. I try to do damage to her with the Jabberwock staff. Pulled in several times by the Queen, she deals some melee damage and wrecks me so much, but I persevere. With enough skillful dodging and enough power from the staff, she enters into her death throes.
All goes quiet, and dear little Alice approaches the Red Queen. Knocked back, she is confronted with the harsh truth of the Red Queen. She and the Queen are one and the same.
Your interference will not be tolerated.
Refusing to give up, I stand and go to fight the final form of the Red Queen. A humongous tentacle beast with powers unlike anything we have faced before. Skillfully dodging all she throws at us and taking a few knocks here and there. I find a few of her weak spots. Aiming for the extended tentacles, I aim and fire my jabberwock staff. One by one, the arms explode and fall. With most of her tentacles destroyed, the only thing left was her body. With the last bit of my energy and power from the staff, I unleash my final volley. The Red Queen lays dead.
The world of Wonderland changes and returns to a happy form from before the Red Queen. The allies we made along the way are returned to the original forms, and Wonderland is once again a happy place. As for dear little Alice, she has awoken from the asylum and is headed out into the real world. With her cat in hand and a newfound purpose, Alice is free from the asylum. At least, for now.
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I did a good job at telling you a decent story. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe for more of these. Leave a comment below telling me what you would add to make it more like a D&D campaign. I did create some monster sheets on D&D Beyond, which you can find in the description below, as well as Alice's character sheet if you would like to use any of them for your own campaign. Also feel free to tweak them in any way. Until next time, be kind to each other. Bye bye.